Hi Aquarius, welcome back to Sanghaya. And for those of you who are new, welcome in. If you found this video, it's not by accident. This reading is meant to meet you exactly where you are right now. Now, in this video, we'll be using my own Sanghaya signature 10 card tarot layout for you, specifically for you Aquarius. And this spread is designed to look deeply into your current energetic state, the future energies approaching you, and what is quietly being prepared for you behind the scenes. And this is not about fear or fixed state, or fixed fate. Yeah, this is about clarity, awareness, and alignment so you can move forward with confidence, truth, and intention. Now, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Your intuition will know what's meant for you. Now, if at any point, Aquarius, you feel called to go deeper and want a personal private tarot reading tailored specifically to your situation, you are warmly invited to book one. All the details, inclusions, and booking information are in the description box below. Now, take a deep breath, ground your energy, and let's begin your reading. Alright, Aquarius, let's start with your first card. And this one already sets the tone of this entire reading. You got Dear John. And I'm going to be honest with you, Aquarius. This card doesn't come up when someone is confused. It comes up when you already know. This is the energy of someone who has reached that quiet moment where you stop arguing, you stop explaining, you stop trying to be understood, because deep down you've accepted the truth. Some of you are still in the situation, still talking to the person, still showing up, still functioning, but emotionally I feel like you are already halfway out the door. And this didn't happen overnight. You didn't just wake up one day and decide you were done. Okay? You tried. For some of you, you tried. You waited. You gave chances. You adjusted. You told yourself to be patient. You told yourself to be understanding. And at some point, something inside you just went quiet. Not angry, not dramatic, just tired. And that card, this card shows emotional resignation, the kind where you don't feel the need to fight anymore, right? Because you already see where things are going. For some of you, this is about a relationship that slowly drains you. For others, this is about a friendship, a family dynamic, or even a job where you felt unappreciated. But the common theme here is this: you were giving more than you were receiving, right? And of course, when you stop trying, that's serious. This card or that card is saying you're done pretending that something is okay when it's not. You're done negotiating with yourself. You're done carrying emotional weight that isn't yours anymore. You're done cold. You're not cold, right? You're not heartless. You're clear. And that clarity is important, because it opens the door for the next energy you have, the symphony. Now, your second card is Symphony, and I actually love this card, that this comes right after Dear John, because for me, this tells me that once you emotionally step back from what drains you, life starts rearranging itself very quickly. The Symphony Heart is about things finally working together, not chaotic, not chaos, not confusion, not everything, clashing at once, but rhythm. So this is the kind of energy where you suddenly notice things feel easier, conversations flow better, plans actually happen, people show up when they say they will. At work, this can look like tasks finally being divided fairly. And in life, it can look like timing improving. You're not rushing, not waiting endlessly, not forcing things. And in relationship, I feel like this is mutual effort, right? No chasing, no guessing, right? No mixed signals. And this card is saying that the future energy coming towards you, Aquarius, is alignment. You don't have to fight for balance anymore. It starts finding you. And the reason this happens now is because you stop overgiving in card 1. Life responds when you stop settling. Okay, now your third card is the ostrich trap. And this is what's happening behind the scenes, Aquarius. Someone has been avoiding the truth here. And Aquarius, let's be clear, avoidance only works for too long, right? So this could be someone who keeps changing the subject, avoids serious conversations, or refuses to define things, acts confused when the issue has been obvious. Behind the scenes, pressure is holding or building. Something that has been left unspoken is no longer sustainable. And what's important here is that you don't have to chase clarity anymore. You don't have to push for answers. Reality is about to force honesty. And if this card is about another person, I feel like they're running out of ways to avoid the situation. But if this card is about you, then you already know what you have been avoiding. And life is nudging you to finally face it. Either way, Aquarius, the truth is coming out. And once it does, confusion ends. Now, let's move on to your fourth card. And your fourth card is the roundabout. Okay, and this is your wake-up call, Aquarius. And this explains why you have felt like you're moving but not arriving. I feel like you keep circling the same questions, the same thoughts, the same decisions, not because you're stuck, but because something, I feel like but because something isn't ready to be decided yet. And this card shows repeated loops, almost leaving, then pausing, almost deciding, then hesitating. And I know that's frustrating for you because you like clarity, right? You like knowing where things are going, Aquarius. But the roundabout card here is saying this delay is protection, actually. And if you exited too early, you choose out of exhaustion, Aquarius. And if you rush this, you'd regret it later. So there's still missing information here, still truth that hasn't fully shown itself yet. Once it does, the decision becomes obvious, and when that happens, you won't loop anymore. Okay, now your fifth card is the broken heart. And this is what you need to release, Aquarius. Now, this is not fresh pain, I feel like. This is old hurt you learned how to live with, for some of you. You functioned through it, you kept going, you told yourself you were fine, but part of you never fully healed. And this shows up as emotional guarding for some of you, as pulling back when things get real, as bracing yourself for disappointment. And Aquarius, you don't need to keep carrying this pain to prove anything mattered. Holding on to heartbreak doesn't make you loyal. It doesn't make you deeper. It just keeps you tied to a moment that already passed. Now, I'm not lecturing you, okay? For those of you although it may sound like I'm lecturing or something, because I feel like I think I remember someone commented that, yeah, that I sound like lecturing, but this is a message from your divine spirit, you know, giving you guidance, a message. So I feel like this card is asking you to release the need for explanations, apologies, closure from someone else. Like you don't need it anymore. Okay, what you need is permission to stop hurting. And once you let this go, your energy changes completely. Okay, now let's move on to your sixth card. It's the empty nest. Now, this is the opportunity opening up for you, Aquarius, and this card comes after something ends and the noise will finally stops. Okay, like your phone feels quieter. This could be like your energy isn't being pulled constantly, your emotions aren't on alert anymore, and at first the silence feels strange, and you might not feel sad, just unsure. You might feel calm, but a little lost. Because for a long time, I feel like your identity was tied to being needed, to adjusting or carrying responsibility. Now that's gone. And the opportunity here is freedom. Here you get to rebuild your life without adjusting for someone else, for anyone else. You get to decide what stays, who stays, and what goes. You get to choose how your energy is spent. Even in this space isn't emptiness. It's, for me, it's clean ground, right? And now, Aquarius, here you have, let's go on to your seventh card. You have the constellation. And finally, Aquarius, your seventh card is, yeah, this is love and connection returning to your life, but not loudly, not dramatically, not painfully. Connection here comes back through people, conversations, shared spaces. Now this can be friends, okay? This can be friends or community, work, or someone new, but the key thing here is that it feels natural. You don't feel anxious, you don't feel confused, you don't feel like you're losing yourself, okay? Now if romance forms here, it starts as friendship, okay? Like talking, laughing, mental connection, and I feel like that's important for you, right, Aquarius? You don't, I feel like you need to feel understood, right? Not overwhelmed. And this card is saying you're not meant to isolate forever, Aquarius, but you're also not meant to return to what hurt you, okay? So the connection forming now, I feel like match the healed, or will match the healed version of yourself. And love doesn't come in chaos this time, it comes in alignment. And it will let you breathe, I'm telling you. Now, Aquarius, let's talk about this next card, because this one is very, I feel like this one is it's very real. Okay, you got the old car, and this is about your career, money, and life direction. Okay, now the very first thing I want to say here is this is not failure energy. Okay, this card comes up when something in your life is still moving, but I feel like for most of you it's costing you more energy than it should. I feel like here you're getting from point A to point B, yes, but it's loud, it's exhausting, and I feel like it keeps needing fixes. And that is, I feel like that's what this card is about. Now, this can show up in your career as staying in a job that technically works but drains you. Doing things the same way you have always done them, even though it no longer fits, or pushing through burnout because at least it's stable, something like that. In Aquarius, you are smart. You know when something is outdated. You may have outgrown the role, the system, the routine, or even the definition of success you are still operating under. And instead of upgrading, you've been maintaining, fixing, patching, making it work. And this card also speaks to money. So some of you may be earning, but it feels like it goes out as fast as it comes in, right? So I feel like you're constantly catching up. You never feel fully ahead. Not because you're irresponsible, all right, but because the structure around your money needs an update, is what I feel like. And this could mean like outdated pricing, undervaluing your skills is also, or relying on one income stream that's no longer enough. So the message here isn't work harder. I feel like work smarter, Aquarius. Okay. Now let's talk about how this feels emotionally for some of you. The old car energy for me feels like waking up already tired, or needing a break before the day even starts, or telling yourself, I just need to get through this. And Aquarius, living in survival mode for too long makes you forget what excitement feels like. And this card is a wake up call also that your life direction needs a reset, not a breakdown, just like a recalibration. Right? But the good news here, Aquarius, is that this card doesn't mean you're stuck with this forever. It means you're just at the point where change is necessary. Okay? Like upgrades are overdue, better options exist, right? But before the upgrade comes, Aquarius, you have to admit that this isn't sustainable anymore, or that whatever that you think you're doing, that isn't sustainable anymore. So this could mean changing how you work, changing who you work with also, or changing your schedule for some of you, or changing your expectations. Not all at once, but yeah, intentionally. Small changes here and there, bringing up big relief later, right? And I want to say this clearly, Aquarius, okay? You are not lazy. I'm not saying here that you are lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're just burned out from running on outdated systems, okay? Now, once you update the way you move through work, through your money and purposes, or life versus or life direction, your energy comes back. Okay, you don't need a miracle, and I know you know that, Aquarius. You just need here, based on this card, you just need an upgrade. So if this card resonates, take it as a sign. All right, something in your career or life direction has done its job, and now it's time to let it evolve, because the version of you that's coming next can't run on the old engine anymore. All right, Aquarius, let's talk about this next card, because this one feels really important for you. Hang on a second, Aquarius. Now I feel like this like more like a reminder you really need right now, Aquarius. Okay, here you got and this card is showing up because somewhere along the way, by the way, this is your higher guidance, what you need to remember right now, okay? In my own tarot spread, this card is showing up because somewhere along the way, I feel like you started feeling empty, not because you actually are, but because you've been pulling from the wrong places for too long. And this card is about depth. It's about sustenance, about remembering that not everything you need comes from the outside of you. I feel like for a while now, you may have felt like you were running low, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. Okay, like you have been giving, and then not really getting refilled the same way, right? And maybe you told yourself, I'm fine, I can handle it, because that's what you do. I feel like some of you, that's what you do. But this card is saying here, you don't have to keep running on low. Okay, what this card is pointing to is this: the support you need, Aquarius, already exists, but you may not be using it for some of you. So this could be like people who are actually willing to listen, or yeah, but you don't want to burden them perhaps, or help that's available but you're used to doing things alone, or like, yeah, inner strength you forgot you had because you've been so focused on surviving. Now sometimes, of course, you're not empty, okay? You're just exhausted from being self-sufficient all the time. And this card here also talks about emotional nourishment. Ask yourself honesty, Aquarius, honestly, who do you go to when you're tired? I'm sorry. I might be triggering someone here. I'm sorry. Okay, first let me just apologize if I'm triggering something here with this question. Who do you go to when you're tired? Who pours into you? Who checks on you without needing something back? If the answer is no one, or I don't really open up like that, then this card is gently asking you right now to change that, Aquarius. Not by oversharing, not by depending on the wrong people, but by allowing support where it's actually safe. You know, on a deeper level, this card, well, is also about reconnecting with yourself. I feel like you've been so focused on endings, healing, adjusting, and rebuilding that you may have forgotten to slow down and ask, what do I need right now? What do you need right now, Aquarius? And this card says your answers are already inside you. You just need to sit with yourself long enough to hear them. Silence helps hear. Rest helps hear. Pulling back from the noises will help you hear. Whatever your situation is, whatever problem you have right now. Now, financially and practically, this card is also somewhat reassuring, and it's a reminder that you are not running out. Okay, some of you may feel uncertain, or like things aren't really fully stable yet, but this card says resources are available. I feel like you are being sustained even if it doesn't feel dramatic or obvious. Okay, you are not being abandoned here, Aquarius. Okay, you're not being overlooked, you're not being drained without replenishment. That's the message. Okay, but you do have to let yourself receive. For some of you, I feel like it's something that you need to hear. For others of you, it may not. Okay, now, Aquarius, this card is asking you to stop telling yourself you have to do everything alone. You're allowed to rest. Okay, you're allowed to lean. You are allowed to pause without falling behind. The well is still full. I'm sorry for any noises I'm making with my mouth. I apologize. I did not mean that. You just need to stop walking past it like you don't need water, right? So take this card as a reminder. Slow down, go deeper, refill yourself properly this time, Aquarius, because the next phase of your life, let me repeat that, the next phase of your life requires you to be nourished, not just functional. Okay, all right, now, Aquarius, let's talk about your final card. You got bedroom. And I want you to really maybe sit down with this one, okay? Because this card is not about drama, and it's not about big external success. It's about peace. Okay, this card shows the end result of everything you've been going through, the emotional endings, the space, the healing, the reset, and where it leads you is somewhere safe, somewhere quiet, somewhere you can finally breathe, whatever that is. Okay, the bedroom card is about comfort, about rest. Can you imagine that? Can you feel that? About feeling emotionally and physically at ease, just like dancing smoothly, flowing, like, yeah. For a long time, I feel like you've been in survival mode, a lot of you, Aquarius. Understandable, okay, with economic status or what's been happening around the world. But even when things looked okay on the outside, I feel like your body and your mind were always on the alert. And this card shows that phase is coming to an end. Here you are moving toward a period where you don't have to be on all the time. So, in everyday terms, this could look like, sleeping better, feeling calmer when you're alone, not overthinking every interaction, not bracing yourself emotionally. Here, your nervous system finally relaxes. And Aquarius, that matters more than you realize. This card also talks about emotional safety, whether this is with yourself or with another person. The energy here is, I don't have to protect myself here. Now, if this involves another person, this is intimacy. That feels safe, okay? Not overwhelming, not demanding, not confusing. Here, you're not walking on eggshells. You're not questioning where you stand. You're not overextending to keep the peace. Here, you feel secure. Now, for some of you, Aquarius, this card is also about your own space. Like, creating a home environment that actually feels like home. Okay, a place where you can shut the door, unplug, and just be yourself, right? This is a phase where you stop proving, explaining, or fixing and start just relaxing, resting. Emotionally, bedroom is about contentment, right? For me, not excitement, not adrenaline, not in this spread. Okay, not in this spread, not in this reading right now. Not intensity, just calm is what I'm getting. It's calm, yeah. And after everything you've been through, the calm is the real reward, or whatever your perspective about calm, having peace, whatever that is. And also, this card confirms something important, Aquarius. You didn't go through all that pain just to survive. You went through it so you could reach a life where peace is normal, not rare. Wow, okay. Where rest isn't earned through exhaustion, where love doesn't feel like work, where being alone doesn't feel lonely. So, Aquarius, this is where it leads to safety, to comfort, to emotional rest. And if you're wondering whether choosing yourself was worth it, this card is saying yes, absolutely yes. So, Aquarius, this whole reading tells a very clear story. You you didn't lose your way. You outgrew something here. You reach a point where your heart finally caught up with what you already know or knew, yeah. You stopped forcing, stopped overgiving, and started choosing peace over confusion. Now, this wasn't easy, right? It took honesty, it took emotional courage, it took letting go of pain you carried longer than you should have. But because you did that, life starts opening in a healthier way. Connection returns without pressure, direction returns without exhaustion, and peace becomes your new normal. You're not starting over from nothing, okay? You're starting over from wisdom here. Now, an Aquarius, if this reading resonated with you, if you felt seen, understood, or emotionally validated, take that as confirmation that you're exactly where you're meant to be right now. Remember, this is a general reading. Not every detail will apply to everyone, so take what feels right for you and leave the rest. If you feel called to go deeper and want clarity on your specific situation, whether it's love, career, money, or a personal decision, you're welcome to book a private tarot reading with me. All the details, inclusions, and booking information are in the description box down below. Thank you for being here, Aquarius. Thank you for your energy, and thank you for choosing yourself. Until next time, Aquarius, take care of your heart. Love and light, Angel. Sanghaya.